controversial. I found a good one.
Sorry for keeping you guys waiting. I apologize.
Questions for Coach?
James, I don't know that we've seen guys running sprints and stuff at a Wednesday practice. Is there a point that you're making with them today?
You know, we just have little things the way we end practice. Everybody's got to jog up, and a couple guys were walking. So we do that whenever guys don't have their eyes up at the end of practice when we're going over things, or they don't jog in. If they get caught walking, then we do things like that. We don't really condition. It's that. Our conditioning happens during practice.
How pleased are you with the way things are at this point in the weekend?
Good. You know, I think one of the things that's really helpful is our developmental squad, our scout team defensive line is really good, which I think is going to help us all year long with our offensive line. But I'm pleased. You know, I think the new practice model has been really good. Tuesdays practices have been really good. Wednesdays, I think we can be better. But overall, you know, so good. I know we got a very well coached team coming in this week. It's going to be a different challenge than it was last week, and we just got to keep getting better.
James, what do you recall about Jason Oway's recruitment, specifically Sean Spencer's role in that?
You know, obviously, you know, Jason was a guy that kind of came on the scenes late. You know, obviously, you know, Sean has done a great job, not only recruiting but building relationships with his current players, as well as guys in the recruiting process. You know, I think it also helped that his head coach I played with in college, his defensive coordinator I played with in college, his defensive line coach I played with in college. That helped a little bit as well. But Sean's done a phenomenal job developing relationships with our current roster as well as in recruiting. He's a fun guy to play for. You know, he's a fun guy to work with, and he gets the most out of his players, and he's building up a reputation. I think when you lead the nation in sacks like we did last year, and what we've done over really a 5-year period, it's pretty impressive, and that speaks for itself. So the combination, I think, of all those things together, I think helped us get Jason.
You've coached for about 25 years now. Have you come across another player like Jason Oway in your
I know Deej. Deej described him a lot physically similar to Vernon Davis, who we had at Maryland. It's too hard and it's too early to make these types of projections. I'm kind of cautious about these guys got enough pressure on them from so many different sources to start, you know, talking about a guy after one game. Obviously, he's got some physical traits that people would love to have in terms of height, weight, speed, athleticism, strength, those types of things, yes. But I'm not going to go overboard with making projections or talking about, you know, comparing him to certain players after one game at this stage.
James, on that note, given his physical attributes and the position he plays, is it easier?
Was there some type of Jason Oway email that went out to everybody?
He's talking to us next.
Huh?
He's coming up after you.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I'm sorry.
Is it easier to flash at that position in particular, just given his abilities and that position where if you're good, you sack the quarterback?
Yeah. I think if you look at it just through that lens of the passing game, yes. So you'll have some guys that maybe are one-dimensional players and they're really good at it early on, and they have to develop the run game part of it. I think that was probably a big part for him, which I think he would admit as well. So yeah, I think with those type of measurements and athleticism and things that he has, it's going to allow him to flash quicker as a pass rush specialist. Probably the reason he didn't play as a true freshman is the run game aspects. I think if it was probably just a 2-minute situation, then yeah, I think it plays to his strengths at that point of his career. It's all the other stuff that I think he realizes. Sean's been very honest with him and up front, and Coach Pry as well, that this is the area he needs to work on. He understands that as well, and he's made tremendous strides over the last year, and we need him to keep doing that because we do think he's got obviously great potential. It's just still early.
Ellis Brooks was talking this morning on call about the hunger drills that you guys are doing and how that's a point of emphasis on Tuesdays. Can you kind of explain what some of those drills are? Because he was describing some of them.
Yeah, so we've done it, I think, for the last 3 or 4 years, where the defensive staff gets together and they list out basically the core fundamental drills that they think are critical to good defense. So they are going to work those drills and rotate through those drills throughout the entire season. So we're going to work these 3 drills. It may be open field tackle, it may be angle tackle, it may be, you'll see us with those hoops that you roll, those types of tackling. A lot of it is tackling. A lot of it is how you attack the quarterback in terms of, the far arm, in terms of being able to bat balls down if you're not going to make the sack, strips, recovering a fumble. So you go through the list of things that you think are critical on defense, defeating a block, and we work through them all. And I think we've done that for the last number of years. I think there's probably been a little bit more of an emphasis. Seems like every year when your rules get passed and it's less and less tackling than ever, that all these tackling fundamentals become even more important.
Is fumble recovery, though, is that something you guys are working more? I mean, obviously last year was...
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so, but I do think, every year we talk about we need to tackle better, we need to create more turnovers, those types of things. I do think we spent a lot of time talking about habits this camp. And I tried to show them examples. There was a play last year where I think it was Amani came up and made a great pass breakup that he thought was a pass breakup. And if you watch, the official actually throws the bag out of bounds where it was actually a fumble. And he relaxed. So what I try to tell our guys all the time is whenever the ball's on the ground, we gotta scoop and score like it's a fumble, because you never know how they're going to officiate. Is it going to be an incomplete pass? Is it going to be a catch and fumble? It shows up a lot when quarterbacks are throwing bubbles or lateral screens. You don't know how they're going to call that. On the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball, we have to recover all those. So we've just been trying to emphasize and show them examples of where this has showed up in the game, and we or other teams haven't done it, and it could come back to haunt you. So. I showed him a clip the other night. There was an example, another one that shows up in the pocket when the quarterback's throwing the ball, and was it an incomplete pass? Was the arm going forward, or did the ball come out just before? And the ball's on the ground, and the defensive guy relaxes, starts celebrating a sack or a pass breakup, whatever he thinks it is, and the ball was actually live, and then the next play they kick a field goal and it could have been a turnover. So those types of things. We just try to kind of show them. We did 2-minute today, and we had one of our young backs catch the ball on the sideline. And what do you do in 2-minute when you catch the ball on the sideline? Of course, you cut back to the middle of the field and try to score. No, you get out of bounds. So just trying to teach these guys, and you'd rather do it in this setting than in Beaver Stadium. So just trying to teach football with as many different ways as we can. We use NFL games and college games that I think our guys have watched. I think it's more realistic when we can show it to them. No different than when we do 2-minute situations in practice or 4-minute situations. Today we did the 2-minute from the Penn State Bowl against Boston College. We used that 2-minute situation. These guys, most of them don't remember. So I showed them the end of that Penn State Bowl and how it kind of played out. I still think it's more real to our guys when it's us and they see guys that they know doing it. By the way, Jesse James looked massive, watching that. I forgot how big he was, but it was good.
You talk about situational football. Do you practice that more with a quarterback and an offense that maybe hasn't been in situations as much as the past few years? And is there a limit to the usefulness of that? Ultimately, you're not going to know what you're going to get out of them until they get into it.
Yeah, no, we do it the same, but I do think you're probably more aware and you're probably more critical of things, of the young guy, than you are of a Trace McSorley. Trace had a reason for what he was going to do. You'd still talk about it, but the young guys, you're all over it for, you're all over those things with them. So yeah, I wouldn't say we kind of have our schedule and we want to make sure we get this enough, because even with our older players, you're still talking about guys that are 19, 20 years old. You still haven't done it enough. I was talking to Saquon the other night. He was just talking about, still how much he's learned in year 2. And he felt like he was pretty prepared going into it. So no, we don't do it more. but I do think you probably spend a little bit more time going through things and emphasizing things to make sure everybody's on the same page.
James,
Matt Limegrove called CJ Thorpe a culture driver this summer. Was that reflected at all on his first start with you?
Yeah, I think you guys saw some clips of him like 7 or 8 yards downfield with a linebacker, and he's shown that really since he arrived. We lost him obviously last year and felt like that was the right move to make for the team. So yeah, I think we need his attitude and his demeanor. I found it hilarious because all camp, our defense could not stand CJ Holmes. I mean, it was like fights and practice every single day. He's doing this, he's doing that. What do you think happened during the game when they're all standing on the sideline watching CJ doing those same things to the opponent? They love it. They think it's awesome. And that's why I tried to explain to them all camp. We need that. We need that mentality. A gentleman and a scholar off the field, and a guy who's on the field, when the ball snapped to the whistle blows, that's going to play with an edge. So, they loved it on Saturday. So yeah, there's no doubt that he brings that to our offense, and we knew we were losing a little bit of that last year when we moved him over.
James, what are the analytical advantages of touchbacks compared to just a regular kickoff? And could you speak to what a weapon Stout has been already?
Yeah, obviously, I was pretty disappointed with that one out of, I think, 14 that it wasn't a touchback. I do think we need to watch and make sure that we have the concussion protocol ready for like the cheerleaders and some of the photographers that got hit in the back of the end zone. But yeah, I think obviously when you can almost guarantee that the team's going to have it at the 25 compared to the 28 or compared to the 34 or compared to an explosive play that goes back for a touchdown, it helps. It also may factor into your personnel and who you put on that unit. That can factor in as well. But yeah, I think just knowing that we got a weapon like that, not only on kickoffs, that can impact field position, that can impact the personnel that we use during that play, but also being able to send them out for a plus 50-yard field goal and be pretty confident that the ball is going to go through the uprights. The other thing I thought was impressive is a lot of guys, when they kick them long field goals, they come out low. He gets great height on his kicks, even on the long ones, which is really valuable because obviously the longer the field goal, the better chance of a block, and now they're getting it in good territory or even a scoop and a score.
Do you have a nickname for him yet? I mean, you had Murder Leg or whoever it was, and the Big Toe.
No, I didn't come up with any of them nicknames. Yeah, no. Thanks.